Good evening, everyone. In this video, I take a look at the concepts of liberty and freedom within the context of the Magna Carta of 1215 and John Locke's essays, Two Treatises of Civil Government from 1689. The Magna Carta, or the Great Charter, originally was an agreement between King John of England and his barons over various rights and customs. However, the basic premises of individual liberty and rights served to influence other famous foundational documents in history, including our own Declaration of Independence. John Locke's essays on civil government speak to individual rights of life, liberty, and property under the claim that all men by nature are free and equal. An important note to consider on the Magna Carta is that it was originally a bargain agreement by the King of England in response to complaints of his barons over a variety of issues, including free navigation on English rivers, standardization of weights and measures, feudal rights and obligations, justice, the church, arrangements for making peace, debt and money lending, towns and trade, and the royal forest. The clauses of the Magna Carta address those complaints within the context of the feudal society of the times. One of the most significant of these gave free men the right to justice and a fair trial. This is an interesting point in that most of the people in England at the time were not free, but were peasants under the jurisdiction of landowners. Max Radin, in his article for the Harvard Law Review, The Myth of the Magna Carta, noted the personal liberties of men was little more than freedom from royal control. In this context, one of the most valuable principles of the Magna Carta is that of establishing limits to the power of those who govern or rule, and that everyone is subject to the rule of law. John Locke's work in his Two Treatises of Civil Government from 1689 acts as a defense of his claim that men by nature are free. According to Alex Tuckness, Locke argued that the rights of life, liberty, and property are part of the natural freedom provided to men and are part of the justification for understanding legitimate political government as a result of a social contract where people in the state of nature conditionally transfer some of their rights to the government in order to better ensure the stable, comfortable enjoyment of their lives, liberty, and property. End quote. The power of the government over the people, or perhaps in support of the people, provides context in which people enjoy what Locke called a, quote, perfect freedom to order their actions within the bounds of the law of nature, end quote. He also spoke of a reciprocal freedom where no one man had more power than the next, and defended the principles of majority rule and the separations of power in government. In summary, the Magna Carta and the Essays on Civil Government by John Locke both spoke to the natural rights or liberties of men and the manner in which governments should be structured to preserve those liberties. By doing so, they provide the conditions necessary for men to exercise those liberties. Therein lies freedom. Freedom is not life without boundaries. It is not the ability to simply do whatever one wants, but the ability to exercise individual liberties within the bounds of law, and in so doing respect others' rights to exercise their own liberties in the same manner. In following these principles, these documents and the themes represented within their text influenced the authors of other foundational documents for the establishment and guiding of government, including the Declaration of Independence in America and the Declaration of the Rights of Man in France. Thank you. I hope everybody has a great weekend.